Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about what I'm doing these days as far as randomly selecting my max effort lifts. And I kind of threw up the little chart that I use personally, and again, I'm using a random number generator for this, something similar to what I did where I created a whole list of exercises. And I'm not doing that at the moment. I don't have like a full list of 30, it's just a random number pick it. When I was maxing every day, which I did for a while. But I've done this for a reason, and this is something that's been noted by a lot of coaches, a lot of lifters out there who run the conjugate method, is that lifters tend to do better when they don't know what they're going to lift on. Meaning they don't have to pick. That's the better way to look at it. When you do not have to pick your own max effort exercises, you tend to do better. Because when you have to pick them, you start thinking about it ahead of time. You start worrying about that lift. You might be laying there in bed the night before a max effort day, and it can mess with your head. It can impact you negatively. It can impact your sleep, impact your performance. And it's really problematic. It's really problematic. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that when I came in and hit my best PRs, this year on the back squat and the deadlift, I didn't plan those ahead of time. I woke up that morning, realized I could hit those PRs based upon my other lifts and said, I'm going to do that. I didn't lay there in bed the night before thinking I'm going to deadlift tomorrow. I didn't even plan on doing a conventional deadlift the next day. Walked in and hit a 615 because I didn't plan it and pick it. I did it spur of the moment. And one of the things that I noticed when it's random like this is that it makes it fun. It makes it interesting because you don't know what you're going to do. You have no idea what you're going to do tomorrow. And when you have a coach who picks them for you, it also removes the stress. You just come in and lift what the coach put on your sheet or what the coach tells you to do. It tends to go better because you don't stress about trying to select the right exercise or put thought into it or any of that. That thought process interferes with your maxes. Okay? Being stuck inside your head in the wrong headspace in general will interfere with maxes. They need to be stress-free. Any type of anxiety or negative emotion will cost you weight on the bar. And that includes stressing about what exercise you're going to max on. And I can tell you when you do the same stuff all the time, that also adds up. When I ran Bulgarian, I used to start dreading getting under the squat bar. Like it was the most stressful part of my day. And I would dread it eventually. This makes it fun. It makes it fun. It makes it fresh. And because it's of a list of stuff that I know is my equipment and geared towards all my goals, kind of geared towards my weak links and strengths. Like in this case, I don't have any variation in box height. I'm doing all conventional deadlifts on this. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm running on an 11-inch box all the way through, which is like 3 inches below parallel. It's just all plays to what I needed to do. So look at what I've done. I've created a list of exercises down the left. You can see that for the bench, the box squat, conventional deadlift, good morning. And then I have accommodation listed. So I run in and just pick a random number generator, right? For bench day, pick a random number 1 to 10. Use a generator. You could use dice if you wanted. For you gaming nerds out there, I happen to be one. Right, so what I have there, normal bar, football bar, buffalo bar, a half board, because I do have 2 sets of bench blocks. 1 board, 2 board, dead pin bench, football bar, dead pin bench, floor press, football bar, floor press. That's 10 different bench presses. And those are all assuming column 1 for the accommodation. Then we go over to the accommodation, 1 through 5. What's that mean? 1 through 5. Straight weight. We don't add any bands or chains. 20% of my lifts will be raw. Straight up raw. I have 10% chains, 20% chains, 10% bands, 20% bands. That will be percentage of my 1 rep max. People say, where do you come up with those maxes? Well, if your max bench is 300, what's 10% of 300? It's 30. If your max bench is 300, what's 20% of that? It's 60. This isn't difficult. And rather than keeping up with 17 different band and chain weights, we can just do percentages. You know why? Because if I get strong enough to where the percentage actually changes, let's say you add 50 pounds to a lift. People are like, well, that's 5 more pounds of band or chain on that 10%. That's no longer valid for tracking. Yeah, it is. 10% of your accommodation. Look, you either lift 500 pounds, 550, 600, whatever you lift with 10% of your accommodation. Okay, that can still be done year-round PRs even if the band and chain weight goes up slightly. But if you're talking about a 10-pound difference, I mean, if you've added 100 pounds to your lift to the point to where that's 10 more pounds of band or chain added, do you really think you're going to notice that difference? Of course not. It's fine. So I just run them as percentages. So basically that's light and heavy bands or chains. 10% versus 20% is light. Because on a bench press, if you bench 330 pounds, it's very, very low. You're barely going to notice a difference. You're maybe going to lift 10, 15 pounds less with 10% band or chain added, like 30 pounds. 60 pounds is big difference. That is heavy. So the same thing with squatting and deadlifting. If you squat 500, 50 pounds of accommodation is fairly light. You'll do less, but again, the same thing. If you put 50 pounds on there, you're still going to hit 475, maybe 480. You're not going to see a big difference in the bar weight. It'll be a small difference, and it will be less. 20% is heavy, because that's 100 pounds if you have a 500 max. So we have light and heavy band and chain is basically what it is. Right? Then we come over to the box squat. All these on 11-inch box, what do I have? Because that was 50 different benches. So in other words, if I pick that randomly, that's 50 different bench presses available. 10 different bar setups times 5 different accommodation setups. That's 50 lifts we can max on. We can track PRs on all 50. Go to column B, the box squat. 4 different box squats. Even if we stay at the same box height, 11-inch. Got my normal bar, which is my normal Olympic bar, my power bar. Not my Olympic bar, it's a power bar, sorry, I have both. Buffalo bar, safety squat bar, and my cambered bar. 4 different box squats, even at the same height. Come back over to the accommodation, same rule. I have 20 different box squats. If we box squat every other week, assuming we don't rotate in good mornings, that's 40 weeks. Because we're only going to do them every other week. We rotate with a squat and a deadlift. And I might go squat, deadlift, good morning in a 5-week phase. Because I do have good mornings over there. All right. Conventional deadlift. Notice I don't have anything directly off the floor. Why? I do plenty of floor work. And if I have both directions, I'm fine. It is psychologically defeating to miss a conventional deadlift from the floor, even with bands or chains. Message with your head. I've noticed it. My lifters notice it. I've seen Louise Simmons actually mention it. It makes sense. It is psychologically defeating. We place so much psychological value on the conventional deadlift from the floor, even with accommodation. When you fail, it messes with you. It demoralizes you. We can't afford that. 1-inch deficit, 2-inch deficit, 1-inch block, 2-inch block. 4 different pulls, not even directly off the floor, and I have all the stuff to do that. That's easy. That's cheap to set that up. 5 different accommodations. 5 different accommodations. That's 20 different conventional deadlifts. Then we come over to the good mornings. Normal bar, safety squat bar, cambered bar. Same thing down the row. What do we have? We have 15. How many lower body lifts do I have? 55. I have 55 lower body lifts. So we've got 50 presses and 55 lower body lifts we can rotate through. This is basically an entire year where I don't have to repeat the same lift. Now here's the beauty of it. We pick it randomly, and if you get a lift that's too soon and you don't think you can PR it yet, you can just re-roll the dice. This way we can ensure we PR every single week, year-round, without picking the exercises ahead of time. But by all means, if you can PR, you get that one and say, I did this one 8 weeks ago, but I know I'm stronger. I got it 12 weeks ago. Because ideally, when you're at my level, you don't want to repeat a lift more than once every 12 weeks. I'm advanced on some lifts and elite on others. And you guys can argue the elite all you want. The charts all show it. You don't want to repeat it more than once every 12 weeks. But if, let's say, I get 12 weeks and I happen to roll the same one again, well, that's a good time to find out. Let's test that strength. But I didn't pick it. It was randomly determined for me that day, and I say, yep, let's roll with it. I have no stress about it because I don't have to come in and know that I have to get an automatic PR. It was determined when I started setting up. It removes the stress. I don't have to pick it. Just like you let your coach pick it, I let the chart pick it. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.